Hey, so taking our dogs out for a walk seems like a perfectly natural thing to do. It feels like something that our dogs should want to do. And so many people, when they get a new dog or they get a new puppy, the first thing they want to do is get their dog out, strutting their stuff. And it can be a little bit of a shock and a little bit disappointing when your Chihuahua resists this. Okay. And I get asked a lot of questions about why is it my Chihuahua does not want to go out for a walk and what can we do about it? So we're going to unpack that a bit in this video. So what does it look like when your Chihuahua doesn't want to go out for a walk? What does this actually look like? And a good way to actually see and start to understand your dog's body language is to look at the ladder of communication so that you can start to kind of understand what when your Chihuahua is maybe looking away or giving you a bit of side eye or backing away, what they're actually telling you. So first of all, we need to understand what not wanting to go out for a walk actually looks like. And this can start at putting the harness on. Okay, so it can start with you get the harness out and the dog removes themselves from the situation. Prince can do this sometimes. So I get his little harness out and he'll go and sit in his crate. Now that is a clear indication to me that he's not very happy. He doesn't particularly want to go out for a walk. And you know what? That's okay. And we'll do something different instead. But there can be other things that your Chihuahua presents with. So it could be just going stiff. It could be the dog backing away. It could be them doing a lap of the dining room table. They could even, as you get the harness close to them, they start to feel the need to defend themselves. So all of these are clear signals that your Chihuahua either just doesn't want to put their harness on, which can be a different subject, or that they've associated that harness with going on a walk and they're finding that walk stressful. So the first thing we need to think about is, where is the anxiety about the walk actually presenting itself? Is it when they think they're going out? Is it when they see you getting ready to go out? Is it when they actually physically get out the door? Are they okay putting their harness on and they just start to become aggressive or shut down when you take them out the front door? So the first thing to unpick is, where is your dog picking up this anxiety and displaying messages that they actually don't want what you're intending to happen? Now, that can be around you getting ready to go out, them predicting what a particular pair of shoes means, or you walking, or a particular coat, or just getting their harness out, walking to a cupboard where you keep the harness. So all of these can be kind of where the dog has predicted a chain of events which is going to create something that they don't want. The next thing you might be finding is, when you get your dog out for a walk, that they are very difficult to communicate with while they're out there. They might, first of all, they might go out, they might not want to go out, they might just put the brakes on and not want to go out, and you feel this need to scoop them up and physically take them out. Or they might get out the front door and they go out like Butch Cassidy, high arousal, having a meltdown the minute they get out there. Or they might just freeze, they just tuck their tail underneath and they just won't walk with you. So again, it can look very different. And as you continue to push your dog through this process, they then start to maybe become reactive. They might see somebody over the road and they bark at them, or they're barking at other dogs or whatever. So this is how you generally would pick up the fact that your dog really does not want to do what it is that you're intending. They do not want to go out on a walk and they are not enjoying the process. Now, Getting your dog out for a walk is very, very much tied up with the narrative around socialization, that when your dog has had their first vaccinations, they must go out on a walk. They must be introduced to lots of different situations before they're 16 weeks old. And if you don't do this, then you're a terrible owner and your dog is doomed to a life of reactivity. This is the general narrative, and this is what people will tell you. You've got to get the dog out there. They'll get used to it. Just keep going and just put a treat in front of them. That'll make all the difference. And quite often it doesn't. And people just get very despondent, and they get very worried why their dog is not actually enjoying something that most of us kind of think is a natural pleasure for a dog. So I want to explain to you why the idea of just get the dog out there and push them through it and they'll get used to it isn't necessarily a good idea, and give you some tips and strategies, if you like, on how to rebuild things for your dog so that going out on a walk is the joy that it actually should be. Now, this is actually quite a big subject, and it is something that we teach at length in Chihuahua school, and it's not something I can just kind of cover and resolve for you in one video, but I can give you some ideas and some strategies to help you understand what is actually going on for your Chihuahua. So they don't want to do it. They don't want to do something. They are anxious about doing it. So that is instantly going to push their arousal level up. That is going to move them from their thinking brain to their flight or flight part of their brain, their amygdala. Their body will flood with cortisol. That is in itself is going to make your dog feel differently about going out for a walk. Okay, so they're going to be looking for danger because they're in flight or flight. So you take the dog out. It's in this high arousal emotional state. You take them out for a walk and something happens. So it could even be something that you're just not even going to notice yourself, but it's a worrying event for your dog. Now, I've talked about this before in other videos, but these worrying events, if your dog was calm and confident, yeah, I'd ignore that. It's nothing to me. I heard that noise. Yeah, none of my business. But if your dog is in a high state of arousal, these worrying events, they go in hard. They go in, we call them flashbulb memories. And they go in hard, and they're a bugger to unpick. And what happens is your dog then has got this really strong memory about anxiety, about being outside. And the more you push them through it, then the more this anxiety is going to build. Now, we all have flashbulb memories. I'll tell you a story from one that I will never, ever forget, because humans have this too, okay? It's just that quite often our flashbulb memories are something that we recognize. So when I was, I'm going to say about 14, which is quite a long time ago, I used to work at a big stately home. It was privately owned, big stately home, and I was kind of a dog's body, I'm going to guess, stable girl. I used to do stuff around the house for them and all the rest of it. And it's a huge house. It was like a massive estate. And this was in the late 70s. So security was a bit different then. And I had been asked to, the family all had to attend a funeral. And bearing in mind, I was only 14, 15, something like that. So it's quite a big brief. I had been asked to go in and get the place ready for visitors to come back for tea and cake. Okay. Me on my own. Okay. So it's a dark afternoon. It's a bit windy outside. So I go onto the estate. I go to the gardener's cottage. I get the key and I go in, and the house is dark. The house is quiet. And obviously my arousal level is already going high. So you can equate this with how your dog feels. I go into the kitchen and I need to start getting it ready, put the lights on. It's dark. It's just a bit grim. And I go to the pantry. Okay, and I go to the pantry to get the bits and pieces out that I need to get the kettle on, all that kind of stuff. Now, I walk up to the pantry, and obviously I'm kind of like a bit stressed. Swing the door open, and there'd been hunting or pheasant shooting, and on the door is a brace of pheasants. And as I swing the door open, they swing out and their claws all get caught in my hair and on my face. Okay. So you can imagine, because I was something that might have been a bit funny if I'd been calm and there'd been other people around, was huge. Honestly, the fact that I can still remember it now at 64 tells you what a strong flashbulb memory that is for me. And we all have them. So we can equate that back to our dogs. The dog is anxious. The dog is worried about going out. They go out and something happens. You probably even don't know what it is. It could be a motorbike going past. It could be the sound of a car going over a grate. Anything. It could just be somebody walking past with a hood up or something like that your dog finds worrying. So all of these are these flashbulb memories that create anxiety for your dog, and it's entirely possible that you have no idea that it's even happened. But as you go out and as you push your dog through this anxiety, you start to create triggers, you start to create trigger stacking, and your dog will then, they will start to predict that anxiety as you start to prepare for your walk. I hope that makes sense. Bit of a long winded way of making that point. So one of the things we never recommend is, first of all, the whole narrative around training, socialization needs to change. Okay. This push through experience needs to be flipped, and it needs to be grow the skills first, then introduce the experiences. Because if you push your dog into lots of experiences and they do not have the skills to process or cope with that, you are just going to create potentially reactivity or anxiety. So we flip the whole narrative. We grow the skills your dog needs first in order to cope with those experiences. So if your dog is struggling with going out, we stop pushing them through the process. We stop making them do it and creating these triggers. Now, one of the things I would suggest, and we do suggest, is we go back to basics with your dog. We go back to working with our dog in a situation. Now, what we're trying to do is grow skills. Skills are neural pathways. They are new behaviors. They are new reactions to behaviors. We cannot grow them if your dog is in a high state of arousal. So we go back to basics. We go back to an environment where your dog is calm. Now that can be the garden, your yard, or a very, very quiet, very private public place where you're not going to get interfered with by other dogs. We then play games with your dog that are going to help them grow confidence and that are going to help them grow a tolerance of novelty. So when they see something new, they have got the relevant, yeah, okay, I can cope with that. It's none of my business, not a problem. That could be sound, that could be textures, that could be things moving, okay? So we play these games with our dog in the garden. And if you look on our channel, you'll see that there are a range of little games that we can play, like treasure hunts, the orientation games. Just have a look. There's plenty of them. The other thing we do is we teach them some little cued behaviors. So like 2 paws up, like a spin, like a catch, or something like that. So when you are out with your dog, once you've actually got your dog out walking, you can, if a stressful situation is coming up, this behavior is so ingrained in your dog. So you can go, like I would say to Macy's a bit, she struggles with walks sometimes. I go, okay, 2 paws, and she play a little 2 paws games. Or we go, okay, find it. And rather than be looking at the dog over there, oh, it's a game, I know how to play this. So it's find it, find it, find it. And they are scooching around in the grass looking for something. So we teach them cued games so that rather than focus on the thing that might cause anxiety, we have them doing something. They have a job to do. I kind of hope that makes a bit of sense. Then what we would do, once we feel our dog has got a range of skills, We then introduce the environment in tiny steps. So we call them micro walks or micro circuits. Circuits because your walk is a circuit. You leave home from the front door, back door, whatever. You walk to the park or drive to the park. You come do your walk. You come back again. It's a circuit. And if your dog is struggling with the whole circuit, then what we do is we make that circuit smaller. Now, again, on our YouTube channel, there's a video of me playing with Prince out the front of our house. So we introduce the environment in tiny steps. So for Prince, it might be we go out the front door, we're on the front step, we play a little game, 2 paws or find it or whatever, we come back in again because we're building short and successful. We then might move them further down the front lawn towards the gate. We play some games with them. We make sure that your dog is comfortable and happy in that environment. And you can see how we build that up, how we grow a larger circuit in tiny steps that your dog can cope with. So, and we are regularly playing games with our dog. We are regularly getting our dog's focus back on us, and we are giving them cued behaviors so that if something happens that they're not confident about, they've got a job to do. Now, if this all goes pear-shaped and something happens, never worry about ditching, okay? If you need to bring your dog back in, then do it, okay? It's much, much better to bring your dog in and just rebuild, let the dog decompress and rebuild again from a slightly lower level and rebuild again than it is, again, just to push them through a stressful experience. So this is how we would recommend that you rebuild your dog's walk. Now, probably a lot of this hasn't made any sense, and it isn't something that can just be resolved in a YouTube video. We have a whole course on this in our online program in Chihuahua School, where I would teach you how to teach your dog to have the confidence, what games to play, to have the confidence to ignore novelty, to just take it in their stride, and what cute games you can play to rebuild their confidence when they're out. So if you want a guided support with this, then do check us out at Chihuahua School. But if that's not your thing and not what you want to do, then we have plenty of games that you can play and you can work with your dog on our YouTube channel. So as ever, if you've got any questions, please put them in the comments below and I will answer them. Please, if you found this video useful, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Join us in our online Facebook group, Positive Chihuahua Training. And as ever, I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Take care.